Now, that's after HAARP was installed, of course, but HAARP had been going like for 5 days. So we see a direct correlation. So where there's smoke, there's fire. And we don't have to have the government tell us, this is what we're doing and that's what caused it. That's what educated people are for. Normal public are not stupid. And the listeners are, by and large, very wary of this. And I think that's going to be more important to understand that a lot of the stuff that we're going to have happening is more or less an attack using high technology. And I think a lot of it's hidden. It's just like the space shuttle's being phased out, but the replacement to the space shuttle is already there. It was a craft that was put inside the space shuttle, and it's a very small thing. It's about 30 feet long. It's about 15 feet wide. And one of the elements with this new space shuttle is that it has an electrically charged forward wing and electrically charged tail wings, which gives a positive ionic charge to the front, a negative to the back, and it can kind of ride these gravity waves. And so I think that's that new technology they're not releasing, and there's so much that we could use in the public. The world needs this cracked. We need to get rid of this lock on the things that this world needs, because society needs to use it for peaceful instead of wartime. Hopefully we can get that done if we work hard at it.
Well, along the lines of, to get back to about the earthquakes situation, I talked, and what you were talking about in terms of HAARP, Brooks Agnew was a guest. He wasn't actually there in person when I did the 2012 Alien Shift event just recently where I was speaking, and our speeches should be available at the alienshift.com website, and I think eventually I'll be able to have mine on my own, released on Camelot as well. But at any rate, he was talking about being around during the early days of HAARP, and he himself was talking about the impact of the frequencies they're using on that display, and how it does lead to earthquakes and other things. So there's a very definite correlation there. And if you go to what I follow, which is the seismic monitor on the internet, and I think it's called iris.edu. iris.edu. There's a seismic monitor on there that tells you, it actually shows you a map of the world, and it shows you the activity, the current earthquakes around the world. And right now we've got quite a bit of activity in South America. There was a 6.2 in Chile, and then lots of aftershocks since then. In the days since that was in March, and this is April, and we're still having, earthquakes in the range of the 5s and the high 4s, in that whole area, and all along what they call the Ring of Fire, on that side of the Ring of Fire. So, I will say that if it's man-made, and it's highly possible it's being stimulated, on some level by the weather wars they're fighting, there is going to be a continuation there, and it seems to be amping up. If you look at that seismic monitor, and I'm actually looking at it right this minute, you'll see that there seems to be a huge increase in large earthquakes around the planet at this moment, or at least in the last week or so. And there may even be a correlation with what happened on the sun this week. And again, there's no way of knowing whether even something like a solar storm is going to be stimulated by alien intervention, so to speak, by something the government is doing, and or whether it's a so-called natural event. The interview that I had in Florida with Ashiana Dean really talks about how almost nothing to do with the Earth and the way our rotation is, and the tilt of the Earth and so on and so forth. In this solar system, everything is basically out of whack, according to her information. And her information is extremely sophisticated. And when you hear my interview, it's like 7 or 8 hours, believe it or not. and is filled with charts of all kinds. And I think that you will be suitably impressed, at any rate, with the level of sophistication of this information, regardless of whether you want to take it on board as true or not. So that's really fascinating. And it looks like we're almost at noon here, Dr. Waterman.
Yes, I'd like to make one more announcement real quick.
Go right ahead.
The 22nd.
And then we'll be joined by Dr. Bill Deagle. So why don't you go ahead, and thank you again for pitch hitting with me here.
No problem. No problem at all. Anytime, Carrie. The 22nd Ozark UFO Conference in Eureka Springs, Arkansas is underway. It'll be going today, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday, they'll have speakers like Linda Moulton Howe, Jim Marsden, etc. So it's going to be a good event. If anybody's near that area, they might want to venture over that way, get on the internet and look up the Ozark UFO Conference. And it's in a beautiful part of the state, and this time of the year in the Ozarks is the dogwoods and redbuds, and it's just beautiful. So,
oh, well, that sounds great. I wonder if Dolores Cannon is going to be there. She's someone I interviewed also recently. And by the way, I have to get to editing these interviews, and I am hard at work now doing just that. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised, since she lives in that general area, that she might be there.
I'm not sure myself. I know those two will be, and it's a pretty busy time.
Okay. Well, they're great people, and Jim Mars is someone that we have interviewed on Camelot, and I encourage you to listen to that interview. It's actually quite excellent, I have to say myself. Jim is just a speaker really par excellence, and I got him to relax and had a great conversation with him on top of everything else. So that's well worth listening to. If you go to our Camelot library, which is basically a library of 4 years worth of work, you can click on that interview, and I think you'll really enjoy it. And okay, Dr. Waterman, I'm going to let you go, and thank you again for joining me here. And I know your show is going to be starting, as you said, it looks like an hour later, so I'm actually on the air, I don't know, 3 hours, something, give or take?
I'll be back on the air in 2 hours, as I understand. So that's the plan anyway.
Okay, and so I think we're going to have a short music break here, and then we will have Dr. Bill Deagle with us. Thank you.
When we disappear, don't know why their threat increases, don't know when I join the churchyard. I don't want to become a fanatic, I've already committed many sins, God will.
Dit is ArgusoogRadio.
Okay, this is Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot, and I am going to be on the air with Dr. Bill Deagle very shortly. So we're linking up with another radio station in America at the moment. Okay, and I guess that you can hear me, but we're trying to tone down their commercials at the moment. They'll be joining us in just about 30 seconds to 1 minute. So many of you will just be joining us now. I wanted to let you know that we do have something of a glitch on the timing, simply because daylight savings time in America is not the same in Europe, and there was a huge glitch because of that. And I've been on the air now for another hour because we're trying to kind of handle that. And at the same time, we've got Dr. Bill Deagle and also a guest with him who is going to be joining us. And so we're actually kind of very lucky today. And we are encouraging people to write in to join the chat, which is, you can get it on the Argusoog radio link, and then you can join us there. And I am turning my phone off here. So, I mean, it's always interesting to have Grand Central Station, which is exactly what it's been lately around here. We are having all sorts of things going on, as many people will be aware, including earthquakes and so on. And Dr. Waterman